proud about the focusing range of all the focusing dedolights. With the double lens system and now with the double aspheric system, we can focus much better than any studio Fresnel light or any open face studio light, and not just a little bit better. We can go from practically 60-degree angle down to 6 or 5 or 4 degree and have a real collimated beam for far reach and so on. So we have a wider variety, a wider choice between flood and spot than anybody else, by far. But sometimes you're shooting in very small locations. And then you want to spread the light even wider. Of course, then you can stick a piece of diffusion on the little clips on the front of the barn door, and depending on what diffusion material you choose, you can widen the angle to even up to 180 degree. But doing that, you have no more control where the light goes, and it's not that easy to create shadows, to take the light off the background and so on. Not truly and utterly an invention of ours, because on many of the video cameras, you've worked for years and years and years with optical wide-angle attachments, wide-angle converters that you stick in front of the video lens, and you have a wider angle. And with some of them, you can't zoom anymore, but you go extreme wide angle, and there are others that maintain the zooming capability. So, thinking of that, we created an optical aspheric negative lens super wide angle adapter. And this is it. And it will go very effectively on the 200 watt HMI, which now also is a tungsten HMI by lamp change. And you could even use it on all the classic dedolights. But of course, when you spread the angle to go a lot wider, the light intensity in the center will drop. So then people say, how much light do you lose? Well, we're not losing very much. We're losing less than 10%, but still we're spreading it a lot wider, so it goes a little darker. So we're at the lower end of light intensity. And that's why this is not always, but very often used with the 200 watt HMI or the 200 watt tungsten ceramic light, but it can also be used with any of our classic lights. Now, we have wide angle and we maintain the focusing. We go wide angle to 80 degree or a little over, and we can still zoom. We can still focus. We can go from 80 degree to 40, and then you take it off, and you can go to the narrowest angle. So that even drastically expands the ratio of our focus range. The main idea is that you maintain the control that you get from barn doors. So on this attachment, we have barn door wings, and the little leaves have helper leaves so that you can close the light gap between the barn door and you don't have any unwanted stray light coming out. There's another special thing that we have coming. We're now starting to add one more function, and that's something that we learned from our museum lights, but it can be very useful for general lighting, because if you think of it, practically all of our lighting always comes from an angle. So if you try to light something that has a straight part to it, and you light it with a regular barn door, and you tilt the light down, the light distribution will go like a pyramid, like a trapezoidal shape. Lighting a painting or lighting anything square or rectangular and wanting to adjust the light to it, this offers the great advantage that we can rotate the barn door wings. And we can do that even more when we take those wings out. Or we can also use the other wings here and rotate them to even a much wider angle and create these trapezoidal shapes on the light. And now on the wall or on the floor where you project it, you have parallel shadow edges again. And that's something you will not find anywhere else. First, the optical wide-angle attachment, because we're the only ones who make that. And second, the barn doors on it. And thirdly, the rotation of the barn doors, that it allows you to adjust to lighting from an angle. That's one of our patents, and I'm still amazed why nobody was thinking about this idea before.